Listen, we were here 3 weeks ago and life was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I think we can safely say that, the guys have exercised some demons here tonight, missing some players. The group that went out onto the field, I thought showed incredible character, stuck to the plan, and in the end got what was an incredibly good win here at a very, very tough stadium.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody played very well. I think after the last game here, it was something that we needed to prove, not just to them, but to ourselves. And I thought everybody rose to the challenge and played their part, and it's fantastic coming away with the win.
What does it mean for you to be the shootout hero of the night?
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. I'm glad that I can do my job and help the team win, so that's great for me and everyone else.
Thank you. We're going to start with those here on the floor. We'll kick it off with Claudio Villalobos. Claudio?
Gary, congratulations for a victory. I mean, winning against a team like Cincinnati nowadays is a good victory. No doubt about it. How do you take the fact that you pretty much had the game on, though, a few minutes before everything was done, and then that happens? How do you describe Mayer's fault? What does it look from your side point? And what was the feeling in the bench at the point?
Well, I honestly thought to that point we were in a really good spot. I know that Cincinnati were building a little bit of pressure, but the guys have done such a fabulous job of really limiting Cincinnati to very, very little and making them play at a pace that I don't think a lot of teams like to play at, especially this group. They've got so many crafty, creative and bright players. If we could keep them in front of us for as long as we possibly could, it was going to make life that much easier. However, it's easier said than done, of course. So there was a tremendous amount of work that went into the job that was done in the end. I've had a look at the penalty again now. I understand why Nima gave it. I think the player gets the wrong side of Jack and he does extend his arms. Do I think it's soft? Yeah. But in this day and age, I think if the forward feels the contact, he's going to make more of it than maybe we would expect. And he's got himself and the team in a very good position. Beyond that, I thought this guy was fantastic. And we took a little bit of a gamble, of course. He's been very unlucky to not be involved in the game from the start. We've seen some awfully good football from him in the past, and I think testimony to the fact that he's ready, he's sharp, and he can make all the difference in such a pressurised situation is such a credit to his character. Absolutely delighted for him and obviously the group.
A lot of people call a penalty shootout like this a roulette, where anything could happen. Is that the way you see it? It doesn't look like it because you bring Panicco to be the savior of the team. How do you call this type of shootout in terms of winning a game like Nashville? Was the team completely ready for something like this?
Sorry,
was the team ready to win like this also?
I think the team were mentally ready for whatever was going to be thrown at them tonight. Things have not been straightforward for us. We know that. This was a return to a stadium that we'd had some difficulties. For 20 minutes, for 70, we were terrific last time we were here, but the scoreline will tell you that things went awry. So there were some demons to exercise. I think there was definitely internally some pages to turn as well for certain guys and to move on. We didn't expect or want to go to penalties, but there have been some boxes ticked here tonight for the group. One of those, of course, has to be 5 clean, clear penalties that I think in the past, if you look back, we've faltered slightly. It's been a point at which we've been unable to get over that hump, and tonight everyone held their nerve, top-class penalties, and this guy has pulled off the defining save that takes us through to the round of 16, so fantastic.
Elliot, was the Miazga's penalty the one that you felt more confident of of detaining, or was it the same for all of the others?
You know, I felt confident about all of them, but as it turns out, I only saved one, and that's all we needed. So, yeah.
Zoom now. Tim, I'll go to you. Please announce your affiliation, followed by your question.
Hello, guys. Tim Sullivan, Club and Country. First, Elliot, I imagine you knew coming into this match that if it went to penalties, you would probably be the guy. What's your feeling as you see the game equalize, and then knowing that there's a possibility of that, and then obviously kind of psyching yourself up to have the performance and penalties that you did?
Yeah. Once the game started to come to a close, I was pleased that we were up 1-0, but as you know, by only being up 1 goal, that can change quickly. So I stayed ready, I got myself warm, and was focused on what I needed to do. So whether we ended up winning the game in regulation or not, I was going to be ready regardless.
You, Ben, affiliation, followed
Can I
by
get one
question.
more?
Yeah, Ben Wright with MLSsoccer.com. Gary, I'm curious. We talked a lot about Elliot, but I'm curious what kind of the process was from the coaching staff. What went into the decision to make the change in penalties? And essentially just why switch a goalkeeper? What made you confident that he would do it?
Yeah, there'd been some discussion in the build up to the game, and actually prior to this game. Would there be a moment to have a bit of a psychological effect on the opposing team? Maybe to bring in some fresh legs and a fresh body, that inspiration. Elliot's been fantastic in the past. At penalties, it's not that we have any doubt about what Joe can achieve. It really was just trying to find, maybe that finest of percentages that could tip us over the edge. And listen, tonight it's worked. On another occasion, maybe it doesn't either work or we don't do it. But I felt tonight was a good call to make. I can't take all the credit for that. Matt Pickings was very, very strong on trying to seize something out of those penalties and maybe make a little bit of a difference with the swap. And I think he called it right there.
Tim, go ahead. I cut you off, so go ahead with your follow-up.
Thank you. Gary, with this win, you guys get a chance to play again.
Tim, sorry, you got
Gary,
cut off. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Apologies.
Yeah, no, Gary, with the win, you guys get to take on Club America. You guys have a great rivalry with them in the long history of Leagues Cup, I know. So what are you looking forward to? How long do you guys get a chance to decompress from this one before you turn around and start preparing for the next round?
Well, I think what every team knows, if they're going to progress in this cup, there's not an awful lot of time now between these knockout games. I believe it's Tuesday. The guys will get an opportunity after flight home to get a bit of rest and recover, and we'll get into the preparations on Sunday for Club America. Look, we've had one game. It was a very exciting game. I think the couple of things we do know is this. The fans will come out for them, and I hope for us as well. It should be a fantastic atmosphere. And also, we're going to run into a side who are incredibly talented and stacked with talent. But look, we've looked very, very bright at home. With even a couple of results that have not quite gone our way, I think proved that we're a completely different proposition this year to last, and we'll be aggressive in our approach to this game. We're looking at going into the last 8, and we're at a point now where who knows what the next step is and what we can achieve. So I think the guys will be ultra confident and certainly walk out of this stadium tonight with their chest out and their chins up.
John, you'll be next, and then we'll end with the last question.
Thank you. John Lupo from Babel and North American Soccer Reporters. Gary, it seemed like in the first half especially, you guys were not only creating set pieces, but you were getting them in very dangerous areas where you could attack and be aggressive. So obviously any coach, any team trains for set pieces and how to prepare for that. But what pleased you the most about not just winning the set pieces, but where you were getting them and how you were getting them?
I think if you look at the way that Cincinnati played, and understandably so, they were on the front foot. The three centre-backs played a reasonably high line. And I think looking at maybe who we played up front with some omissions, they felt if we could, or if they could make us go a little bit longer, then they could get that physical presence working. I thought we did a very, very good job in some decent areas of the game, managing the ball, working into good areas, working down the side of those defenders. And I think in the end there was a little bit of frustration from their part. It was, listen, we've got to win the ball at source, and when you make that decision there's always a chance that you're going to catch part of the player. And I thought we had some wonderful opportunities, and certainly some good pressure to try and make a little bit more of those dead ball situations. In the end, you'll look and say that those set pieces were definitely our best chances, but given the way we set up and some of the limitations we had, I thought the guys were absolutely fantastic in the way that they went about the plan and executed it.
And last one, Valera, share your affiliation by your question. Thank you.
Hey Gary, Valer Shabilla with Broadway Sports Media. Finally a match without a red card, and just another sort of back to the basics fundamentals from your defenders, and overall just a really good showing, I think, for Nashville personally. But the question is, how important was it for the players to continue to stay calm during these intense situations? And maybe you've talked in the past about these mistakes, with whether it's the refereeing or the players, but how important was it to keep their heads and continue on? And what can you do to repeat that sort of going forward?
Look, this all stems from, I think professional players being professional, understanding the pressures of the game. There are many different reasons why I think we've ended up with a ridiculous amount of red cards. And I'm sorry, I have to say that I do think some of the officiating has played a part in that. However, we do have our part to play in this as well. And I thought tonight the attitude was still very competitive. I thought Nima in the middle had a wonderful game. He let the game flow where he could. He stopped the game when he had to. And he didn't put himself in a position with really any situations where he needed to double up on yellow cards. I don't know if anyone else felt as if there were, more yellow cards than he'd given. But I've got to say, from the touchline, both teams were very committed. But there was nothing, out of the ordinary that would mean that either team should be in that position. The guys were terrific tonight. We start to put some of those disappointments and frustrations in the rearview mirror. But this is a process. It's not one game. We need to back that up with another good performance. We certainly need to be in the right mindset and have the right focus against a good side. And my hope is that we're on our way now, taking small strides to where we were a month or 6 weeks ago. Because prior to that, there were some awfully good things going on, and everyone forgets about that.
And with that, thank you both, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.